Hello everyone and welcome to chemistry class. We are discussing the chapter number 3 and today we are with the part 2 of this chapter. In the last class we discussed about the acids and their classification into organic and inorganic acids and how they are called as weak and strong acids. Then we also discussed about the basicity and various kind of basicity found in acids. It can be monobasic, dibasic or tribasic. Today we'll learn about the various methods of preparation of acids and then we will see the physical and chemical properties. At the end of the video we'll discuss some of the in-text questions from the exercise part. Here in the basicity, one point I missed in the last class, let us have a look at this. What are the monobasic acids? They are those which are producing one hydronium ion per molecule of acid because only one H plus ion is released in these acids, therefore they will ionize in one step only and they will form one normal salt. Only one salt will be produced by the monobasic acid in one reaction. In the case of the dibasic acids, here you can see they are having two hydrogen ions, two H plus ions are produced in case of dibasic acids. Because two ions are produced, the reaction will proceed in two steps, and the first step of reaction they will produce acid salt, the another one they will produce normal salt. So dibasic acid give one acid salt and one normal salt. Acid salt is what? Which is containing hydrogen in that. Still it can release hydrogen ion. That is why it is called acid salt. Water acid, which the substances or the compound which produce hydrogen. So here hydrogen is still there. That is why this salt is called acid salt. In the case of the tribasic, it is having 3 H plus ion to release. So because 3 H plus ions are released, the reaction will proceed in 3 steps. It can ionize in 3 steps. So in the first 2 step, in the first 2 reaction, they will produce what? They will produce acid salt. So two acid salts are given by tribasic acids and one normal salt is given. I hope it is clear to you. Now we will move on to the preparation of acid. The preparation of acid can be done in various methods. The first method is given here is by synthesis. It can also be called as direct combination. Here two elements are combining together to produce one acid. What are those? Here it is given the general equation. Hydrogen combines with a non-metal and what we get is an acid. You can note this non-metal over here. Non-metal always produce an acid. On the other side, if we are using a metal, then we will get base. This is a short trick to remember. The non-metals, they will produce acid, but the metals will produce base. So here the first one, hydrogen in gaseous form, this is a gas. Similarly, chlorine also is a gas. What we'll get is hydrogen chloride as a gaseous form. This hydrogen chloride is very much soluble in liquid. In water it will dissolve and it will give us HCl in liquid form. That is what is called as acid, that is hydrochloric acid. Similarly, hydrogen combines with bromine, Br2, it will give us hydrobromic acid. Next one, hydrogen combines with sulfur non-metal and what we are getting is H2S, that is hydrogen sulfide gas. All these are acids. Next, now second method is we are using water with acidic oxide. Acidic oxide is what? Acidic oxide is a non-metallic oxide of a non-metal. Whenever any non-metal atom combines with oxygen atom, it gives us a non-metal oxide. For example, sulfur is a non-metal. When it combines with oxygen, it will give us two type of oxides. One is called as sulfur dioxide, one is called as sulfur trioxide. So these are all non-metal oxides. Similarly, carbon combines with oxygen, what we get is CO2. So C, in this case carbon, is a non-metal and CO2 is its oxide. So these are all non-metal oxide and they combine with water, and what we will get is we will get a one or the other types of acid. That will depend on which type of acidic oxide we have used. Now the first reaction you can see here is SO3 combines with H2O. Now there simple addition is going on only. So SO3, sulfur trioxide, combines with water. What we will get is H2SO4. So how it is forming? H2 is already there, S is also there, so H2S. Now oxygen 3 and 1 oxygen is over here. So total 4 oxygen are coming. That is why you can say H2SO4. Similarly here also H2S. Now total oxygen are 3. So H2SO3, that is called sulfurous acid. Don't confuse the names between sulfuric and sulfurous. Next now CO2. CO2 combines with H2 and it will give H2CO3. Carbonic acid, it is a weak acid, remember that. Next now P2O5, it will give phosphoric acid, and 2O5 gives nitric acid. Now all these acids are given over here. If we remove water from these acids, acid minus water, if we remove water from the acid, what we get is called as acid anhydride. This name you remember, acid anhydride is what? It is acid minus water whenever water is removed from acid. The term anhydride you can break into two parts. Anhydride, N means no and hydride means water. So water is not there in this acid, that is acid anhydride. What are these acid anhydride? Acid anhydride are all these acidic oxides. Acidic oxides are also called as acid anhydride. How so? You can do this reaction in an opposite manner. Like sulfuric acid, if water is removed from it, it will give us SO3. Similarly, all these reactions can go in a backward manner also. Just carbonic acid, for example, it will produce carbon dioxide if water is removed from it, and all this reaction as such it can be done. All these reactions you can see here, whatever acid is produced here, all these are oxy acids. Just for example, H2SO4, it is an oxy acid. Last class we have seen what is oxy acid, which is containing hydrogen, which is containing oxygen and one non-metal atom. In this case it is sulfur atom. So all these compounds you can see, all these are oxy acid. All are having one hydrogen atom, and all are having one minimum oxygen atom also, and third thing, all of these are having one non-metal atom also. That is why all these are oxy acids. Apart from this, there is a special case here, that is NO2. NO2, whenever nitrogen dioxide combines with water, what we will get? We will not get single acid, we will get a mixture of acid. One acid will be HNO2, the second acid will be HNO3. It is a mixture of acids we are getting. Because we are getting a mixture of acids, therefore NO2, it is not called as acid anhydride, it is called as a mixed anhydride, because a mixture of acid is produced on its hydrolysis. On adding of water to it, we are getting two acids. HNO2 is called as nitrous acid. Remember the names. HNO2 is called nitrous acid, and HNO3 is called what? It is called nitric acid. These are the mixture of acid which are produced by this mixed or double acid anhydride, that is NO2. I hope it is clear. The third method of preparation of acids is by the oxidation. Oxidation, we have learned what is oxidation earlier. So whenever non-metals are oxidized, they will produce an acid. In chemistry, this HNO3, it is a very strong oxidizing agent. It is a strong what? Oxidizing agent. That is, it provides oxygen. Oxygen which is already in HNO3, it is released and it moves where? It moves to the non-metal, and this non-metal atom will get oxygen from the acid which we are using here is nitric acid. So nitric acid is working as a oxidizing agent. Let us see the reaction now. Two reactions are in your syllabus. One is given as sulfur and one is with phosphorus. So if you are using sulfur, you will get sulfuric acid. If you are using phosphorus, you will get phosphoric acid. Apart from this thing is common. Both the reaction water is produced, both the reaction nitrogen dioxide is produced. The next method for preparation of acids is by displacement reaction. In this displacement reaction, what we are using is, we are using a less volatile, or in other words we can say we are using a non-volatile acid to prepare a volatile acid. First you remember what is volatile. Volatile means any acid which can evaporate at room temperature, or any acid which can evaporate on heating at lower temperatures only. Easily it can evaporate. So in our syllabus, two volatile acids are in syllabus, HCl and HNO3. These two are volatile acids. You will remember now, volatile acid example HCl and HNO3. The non-volatile one is, this is non-volatile, H2SO4, sulfuric acid is non-volatile. So from this non-volatile acid, we will prepare volatile acids. Now on the other side here, salts are written. So what salt we have to use? That will depend on what? That will depend on the nature of the acid we are preparing. For example, in the first equation we are preparing here HCl, and the salt we are using is NaCl. What is the common link in both of these? Easily you can see here, both are having Cl, that is chloride ion is present in this. So that is why we can say whatever ion is present in the salt, Accordingly, it will produce the acid. Chloride ion salt will produce chloride ion acid only, that is HCl. Similarly, the second equation you can see NaNO3. So NaNO3 can be broken into two parts, Na plus and NO3 minus. So here NO3 minus ion is there, so it produces which acid? It will produce HNO3. So here also common link is with NO3 ion. So whatever acid we have to produce, you see the negative radical, whatever we have to produce, accordingly we can choose what type of salt we have to use. Now remaining equation, now here let us see the equation what is happening in the reaction. First equation, NaCl combined with H2SO4. H2SO4 basicity is what? It is a dibasic acid. That means from H2SO4 normally what should happen is 2H plus ion should release, but in this reaction it is not happening. What is happening here? In this reaction it is producing 1H plus only. It is producing 1H plus only. That is why here from this H2SO4 one hydrogen combines with this chlorine here, and we will get what? We will get HCl. Remaining is what? H2SO4 has lost one H plus. Now what will remain there? It will be HSO4 minus ion. This HSO4 will combine with sodium, and we will get what? We will get NaHSO4. Let me write this equation in simple terms here. NaCl combines with H2SO4. Now this H2SO4 breaks down into two parts. So what those parts are? Let me write those parts only. First is H plus ion. Second one is what? Second one is HSO4 minus ion. In the NaCl, Na is positive, Cl is negative. Now you can see this H plus will combine with Cl minus, and we will get HCl. Similarly, Na positive will combine with HSO4 negative, and what we will get is Na, and remaining is what? HSO4. So two things are prepared. One is acid and NaHSO4, that is the salt. Similarly, the second reaction also proceeds. Here H2SO4 releases one H plus, it will be H plus ion, and remaining what will be there in this H2SO4 is HSO4 negative. It combines with NaNO3. Na is positive, NO3 is negative. Again that same interaction of positive and negative charges take place. H plus combined with NO3 minus, we get HNO3. Similarly, Na plus combines with HSO4, what we will get is NaHSO4, that is a salt. This is a salt, and HNO3 is acid. So for this particular reaction, the basicity of H2SO4 will be 1 only. Why it is 1 now? The question may be arising. You can see the symbol here. This symbol is actually what? This means heating, and in this reaction we are heating at low temperatures. If we are heating at low temperatures, this basicity will remain 1 only. If we are heating at high temperatures in case, then the basicity will be 2. So in this particular reaction, for this reaction to proceed properly, we are heating at a proper, or we can say at a low temperature, at a certain fixed temperature is there. Now we have completed the preparation methods of acids. Let us proceed to the properties of acids, and we'll begin with the physical properties. The first property shows about the taste. The taste of the acids is generally sour in taste, but the sour taste which we are saying is actually for organic acids. The sour taste is of organic acids. What about the inorganic one, the mineral acids? That is generally recommended not to taste, not to try. Why so? Because they are very much corrosive or reactive in nature, and they can cause burn injuries. That is why mineral acids like HCl, H2SO4, nitric acid, these should not be tasted. So the test we have done. Next one, physical state. The physical state of acid is varying in nature. Some are solid, some are liquid at room temperature. So at room temperature, these acids are examples are given. All these are solids. The remaining ones are liquids. In the liquid, two categories are there: volatile and the non-volatile. This non-volatile, you can remember, you have to learn this, that is sulfuric acid is non-volatile. The third physical properties is effect of skin on the skin. Already I told the mineral acids like HCl, H2SO4 and so on, they are very much corrosive in nature, very reactive in nature, and they can cause painful burns. Burn injuries can take place, blisters can take place on the skin. Next is, in this effect of skin only, Apart from the mineral acid, one mineral acid is an exception, that is carbonic acid. This carbonic acid is the only mineral acid which is not very much reactive. It is a weak acid. It is an exception we have seen in the weak acids. So because it is a weak acid, it is not that much harmful. And also other organic acids that are not naturally present in the fruits, we are eating them, so they are not that much harmful. Next one, point number 4, acid produce significant colors in the presence of indicators. Indicators, what are the indicators? Let us read here. They are the complex substances or complex compounds which will show different colors in acid or base. That means they are a method to check whether our solution is acid or base. So if we want to check any solution is acidic or base, we can use chemical indicators. These examples of chemical indicators are given. First is litmus. Blue litmus will change into red color if acid is there. Similarly, methyl orange, it is orange in color, it converts to pink color. Another one is phenolphthalein, it is colorless. If it is used with acidic solution or acidic medium, it will still remain colorless. Different colors will come. When we will discuss the base properties, we will again have a look on these indicators. Apart from this indicator, one natural indicator is red cabbage extract, the juice of that red cabbage. So this red cabbage extract, it will convert into red color in acid solution and it will convert into green color in basic solution. These colors you should remember. Apart from this, the indicator which are showing colors, there are certain indicator in which the smell changes. Such indicators are called as olfactory indicator. The smell change will be observed with regard to the acid or the basic solution. For example, onion is an olfactory indicator. Here the smell of the onion will change in, it will disappear in the basic solution, but in the acidic solution it does not change or it does not destroy. If we dip a cloth in onion solution and that onion solution dipped cloth is then dipped in basic solution, then the smell of onion will disappear. Same smell will not disappear if we are using an acidic solution. The fifth property, that is of the acids, is they are electrolytes. All these are electrolytes. They can conduct electricity in aqueous state. For example, HCl, it is having positive and negative ion. Due to this reason, because these acids are containing oppositely charged ions, that is why we can say these acids can conduct electricity. They are working as electrolytes in the aqueous solution. That is all for the physical property. The next reaction here, we will learn now the chemical properties. Different reactions we will learn of acids. The first one is reaction with active metals. Active metals are those metals which are more reactive than hydrogen. These are based on the activity series of metals. I hope you have learned that in the class 9 already. So here the general reaction is given. This general equation you learn. Active metal combines or reacts with acid and what we get is salt and hydrogen. Hydrogen will always be produced. So indirectly we can say this reaction is used in the preparation of hydrogen also. What kind of acids we are using? We can use either dilute HCl or dilute H2SO4. So we will be using dilute mineral acids. Here one exception is there, we will not use nitric acid. Why is it so? We will deal with in the later part of this reaction. First let us see the reaction is here. Magnesium, that is an active metal, it reacts with HCl. What we will produce? Hydrogen is sure to produce. So hydrogen part we can remove from here. What will be left is, there you can see magnesium and Cl, that will produce the salt magnesium chloride. Similarly the second reaction, zinc react with HCl, we will get hydrogen, and remaining part now is zinc and Cl, that is zinc chloride, ZnCl2 forms. The last one also iron react with H2SO4. In this H2 hydrogen is produced. The remaining thing is the salt, that is FeSO4. Now the nitric acid. Nitric acid is not used in this case. Why is it so? In case we use nitric acid, then what will happen? Let us have an example here. For magnesium metal only, for example, only if we are using nitric acid, then it will produce hydrogen gas. Surely it will produce. But this nitric acid is a very strong oxidizing agent. It will do what? It will provide oxygen. It will provide oxygen. It is an oxidizing agent. So because it is a very strong oxidizing agent, it will provide oxygen atom to the hydrogen which is produced. As a result, both this hydrogen and oxygen will combine and there we will get water. So what is the reason we are not using nitric acid? Because it is very strong oxidizing agent and it will oxidize hydrogen and form water. So in place of hydrogen which is produced at the end of the reaction, we will get water. We will not get hydrogen as the end product in the reaction if we are using nitric acid. That is the reason. So this question is generally asked, that is why mark it separately, noted down. Why is nitric acid not used? Next thing, is there any element where we can use nitric acid? Yes, still there is an element. There are two elements actually where nitric acid will also produce hydrogen gas. Examples those elements are what? One is magnesium, another one is manganese. Mn is manganese. So magnesium and manganese, these are the only two active metals which can produce hydrogen even with the reaction with HNO3. But here also is a condition, very important condition is there. If we have to produce hydrogen with nitric acid, then this nitric acid should be very dilute. Yes, it should be very dilute. How much dilute? It should be 1% acid. 1% acid means the acid should be very dilute. The solution of the acid should contain only 1% acid, and remaining about 99% of the solution should contain water only. Now you can assume how dilute the solution is. 99% solution is water, 1% is acid. In that much dilute solution of nitric acid, magnesium and manganese can produce hydrogen even with nitric acid. The equation is given here with manganese. Next, now second chemical property is very important, reaction of acids, that is neutralization reaction. In lower classes also you have gone through this. Acid combined with base, and what we are getting is water is always produced and salt is there, water plus salt. So acid plus base gives water plus salt. Now here what is base? We need to understand this already, although we have not done what is base, but for this reaction we should be knowing. Bases are metal oxides. Bases are what? Metal oxide, or they can be metal hydroxide. They can be metal oxides. What are metal oxides? For example, Na2O, Na sodium, O means oxide, oxygen is combined with this, so it forms metal oxide. Similarly, we can say metal hydroxides. In the case of metal hydroxide, hydroxide is the OH negative ion, so it can be NaOH. Example I am telling, Na is the sodium, is the metal, OH is the hydroxide. In the equation that is given here, CuO, Cu is copper, is the metal, it combines with oxygen to form the metal oxide, that is basic oxide, CuO, copper oxide. It combines with acid, so base plus acid, what we will get? Water we will get. So you remove the water molecules from here, what we will remove is water. So H2 is removed from the acid part and O is removed from this base part. What is remaining now? Cu and SO4, that will form the salt. Similarly, the second reaction, NaOH plus HNO3. So hydrogen will be produced from this, H plus is produced from acid now. So H is removed from the acid. Similarly, from the base, OH. From the base, OH part will be removed. What is remaining now? NaNO3, that is the salt. So like this, salt and water are produced in the neutralization reaction. I hope it is clear. Next we have the action of dilute acids on salts. Different salts, now we will learn how they are reacting with dilute mineral acids. First type of salt we are learning is carbonate and bicarbonate. Carbonate ion is what? Carbonate ion is CO3 2 minus. What is bicarbonate ion? Bicarbonate ion is HCO3 minus. CO3 2 minus carbonate, HCO3 minus is bicarbonate. Another name of bicarbonate is hydrogen carbonate. So now let us learn the reaction. Carbonate reacts with acid, what we will get? Surely we will get water, surely we will get carbon dioxide. These two things, one salt and two carbon dioxide, these things will 100% they will form. Another thing, third thing that will form is a salt. That will depend on what kind of acid we are using. Now here for example CaCO3 we have used with HCl. So now CO2 will form. CO2 will come from where? It will come from CO3. From here CO2 will be produced. One oxygen is still left, that will combine with hydrogen of acid and we will get water. CO3, from here CO2 is released. Still out of this 3 oxygen, 1 is left. That 1 oxygen will combine with what? With hydrogen ion and it will give water molecule. Remaining things are Ca and Cl, that will give calcium chloride. The second equation also similarly we can be doing. Next, now the second type of salts are given here, sulfites and bisulfites. The reaction we will learn now about sulfites and bisulfite. First let us know what is sulfite. Sulfite is SO3 2 minus. This is the radical or the anion which is called sulfide, and the bisulfides, that is HSO3 negative -1. So that is bisulfide. So let us have this example here. First you learn this general equation. General equation is important. Each and every of these chemical property general equation you have to learn. So it is given sulfur, and the sulfide or bisulfide react with acid. What we will get is salt, water, sulfur dioxide. So sulfur dioxide is sure to form, water is sure to form. These two things are common in all these reactions. The salt will depend on the nature of the sulfide which we are using. So let us have this example here. Calcium sulfite, it combines or reacts with HCl. So what will form? First thing, the common things you write, then salt afterward. In our book, salt is written earlier, but the better way to learn this or to prepare these equations will be first you write down what is the common thing that is forming, that is sulfur dioxide and water. So sulfur dioxide is removed. Out of SO3 you will get SO2. So one oxygen is still left, that will move to water. So sulfur dioxide and water have been prepared. What is remaining now in the salt is calcium is remaining. Remaining thing what is left is Cl is remaining, that will form the salt. Now it will be easy. First you remove the atoms and molecules of sulfur dioxide and water. Remaining thing will be the salt. I hope the concept should be clear. So that is actually a trick to learn to prepare how the salts are done. So that is the second equation given here, NaHSO3. Here also first you write down SO2. Now what is left is out of NaHSO3, SO2 is removed, so sulfur is removed. Out of oxygen only one oxygen is left. Now what will be there? That is hydrogen and oxygen, that will form water. Remaining thing will be Cl and Na, that will form sodium chloride. So this is a short trick only, not a proper method, but it is a short trick for us to learn or to prepare these chemical equations. Generally students are confused how the salts are forming, so that is a short trick only. Next method or the next chemical property is sulfides. Now don't confuse between these two. Sulfite, last Te, that is SO3 2-. Here it is sulfide, last alphabets are De. So now sulfide are what? This is S2-, valency is 2-. So here in the case of sulfides what we'll get salt and H2S gas. Here water is not produced. So let us see the equation here. Metal sulfide combines with this acid. So zinc sulfide, ZnS combines here. What we'll get? First you write H2S. So hydrogen is removed, sulfur is removed. What is left is ZnCl, that will form zinc chloride. Similarly, next metal sulfide is FeS, iron sulfide. It combines with this acid. What will get? H2S. So H2 is removed from acid, S is removed from sulfide. What will get remaining is FeSO4, that is the salt. Next we have the chlorides and the nitrates. Chlorides are Cl minus, negative ion. Nitrates are NO3 negative radical. Now these chlorides and the nitrates, they are very less. The few chlorides and nitrates react with the dilute acids, and what is produced is HCl or nitric acid. That will depend on the nature of the salt. If you are using chloride salt, you will get HCl. If you are using nitrate salt like PbNO3 lead nitrate, then we will get nitric acid. Similarly, nitrates and chlorides, generally most of them react with concentrated acid. All these reactions are with concentrated acids. Here also same thing. Chloride salt we have using, then we will get nitric acid, the HCl we will get. In case we are using the nitrate salt, NO3 salt, then we will get HNO3, nitric acid will be produced. So the nature of the acid will be depending on what kind of salt we are using. Second thing that is important here is the temperature. You notice here, if we are heating up to below 200 degrees Celsius, then what we are getting here is NaHSO4 and KHSO4, that is acid salt is there. What we are getting is acid salt. The salt contains hydrogen in it. Along with this we are getting the normal acid also. But if we are heating above 200 degrees Celsius, then we are getting salt only. We are not getting acid salt. We are getting normal salt plus acid. When we are heating below, then we are getting acid salt plus acid. So this is the difference that you have to notice here. These are all the chemical properties. Then we have given these uses. This you can simply directly learn from here. All the uses you should be knowing of these acids. The next we have the in-text question.